Good day, lords and ladies, and welcome back to Rimworld Biotech, the last few. Now, I have allowed time to kick on a little bit because I said I wanted to get some stuff done in the interim. Man, we really need to repair that. It was Tech Priest. I don't want you to fire at it, I want you to blinking repair it. Oh well. But yeah, time has ticked on a little bit. I wanted to get some progress done, so I think about just under, I think like 8 or 9 days have passed. And in the interim, Marlon has recovered from his sickness. We found out that there was basically medicine being hoarded by, I think it was Bennett, had lots of high quality medicine on him. So what we've done, he's healed up and is now in bed. Fern is now pregnant again and is on the second stage. She became pregnant quite soon after. Basically, I paused the video. So she's basically had a little bit of time to develop. So what have we done in the interim? In the interim, we have got the Factorum finished off. I put a couple of power generation and some batteries in up here. I also moved everything over. It was just time consuming. I didn't want to do it on camera. So what we've done is done that. We've also cleared out a little bit of space here to allow us to expand and make a larger like storehouse setup. And just sort of move some stuff over here, just like general storage. So then we can turn, this is going to be basically a sort of sick bay, that kind of thing. Sick bay storage for like an autopsy room and that kind of stuff all put into one. If I check my hygiene tab, where's the well? So my plan is to basically put a couple of things in place, which is that I still need to have somewhere to do a lot of my sort of specialist crafting, sort of like, I'm thinking maybe extending this bit out here and putting a sort of laboratory on for making of drugs and stuff like that. But I do want to do the main sort of bunkhouse. This current bunkhouse here is fine, setup here is fine for the time being. But I would like to put a bigger blockhouse in, like barracks in, probably a larger cathedral as well. And over here, just sort of start to get some more stuff organized and also tap into the power network. In the research area, what we got researched was a couple of things we got researched. We had the chemistry become finished, which unfortunately turned out to be relatively pointless, if I recall correctly. Unfortunately. Also, solar panels came online. And also the bins. So all those things sort of came online around the same. Here we go. Chemistry. Basically, yeah. Synthetic based chemical component pounds such as nitrine and plant dye, which we can make en masse. Unfortunately, though, we can't do that because we don't have any gold, which is a bit of a shot in the teeth. So we may have to keep an eye on the world map and find some of that. Also, what popped up in the world quest system was one of the Book of Faith of the Imperial Creed that's popped up, which we need to get a hold of. Also, we have a guard missing here if we want to take it. I'm not so I want to do that. Some stuff here is nice, but we'd have a lot of a deserter guardsman, grenadier, that kind of thing popping in. One thing I will also have thought about doing, to be honest, is I have been thinking of, where is it? Where is the storyteller? And putting him up to strive to survive. Just a bit more sort of chunky with stuff that happens because of obviously turning down how much the value of buildings. When you do a big build like this, having the initial sort of like risk calculation set up is always really impactful. So what I want to do is I've set it all up to allow for this to be used for surgeries. We've got all the medical storage and it's all chilled here. So I probably want to make something like a barracks with an attached sort of general storeroom for stuff like finished products, and like probably like a bathhouse and stuff like that. I also want to finish doing painting of this, which means we need to get some dyes put down, which I have been thinking about doing, to be honest. The problem is it's going to have to be all over here, which is just a long trek. But a long trek nonetheless. It's a task that needs to get done nonetheless. So let's get ourselves set up here. If we put them down just a good amount set up, it won't require us to do much work. Get that done and say dye plants. Where is it? Nope. Give me 1 second. It's been here though. There we go. Get that set up. So, what is the next thing that we want to sort of aim for? Like I said, as you can see, we have stuff here. I put the bins into the general places where we just want to keep them clean, like the sick bay, like the kitchens, like the butchery room in here. I do want to get... This is why I'm cutting out this area here, to allow us to sort of start setting up the barracks. Also, the reason I want to try and get the barracks stuff set up is to allow us to sort of get access to the water source that's down here, get electronic pumps up, all that jazz. Also, at some point, I am going to want to tap into the natural power supply, which is the steam vent here. We have a couple. We've got one here, one there. Unfortunately, we can't gain access to the Imperial Tech for a little bit yet. Which is annoying, because we need basically advanced research table. And I can't remember where it is on this thing. So I think it's under microelectronics. It's basically buried in there. It might be in here. I've got basically geopower lined up, along with the starting of some gun making and some stuff, lowest end stuff. So we see how that goes. But yeah, so far it's not going too badly. We do need to get some gold, which means we either need to put a quarry down. Also, oh yeah, one other thing that I also did, which was that I tamed some donkeys and put a little paddock up here. Unfortunately, there are some muffaloes in it, so we can't really get rid of the muffaloes, which is annoying. But it's not a massive issue. We also went pretty hard on concrete making, so we got a fair good amount of concrete. Our supply of scrap metal, though, is starting to get a wee bit low. Not terribly low, but we have more metal sort of stored away around here. I can mine it out. It's a bit of a sort of ache to do that, but it can get done. Just hoping sort of that we wouldn't have to really do it. Because I thought, oh, we got loads of scrap metal, but you don't get as much scrap metal out of breaking down stuff as you used to anymore. The 2 forced labourers we have are really useful, I'm not going to lie. They've done a lot of the stuff we need to get done. So yeah. So far I'm rather happy with how things have gone. One thing I have been thinking about doing now that we have a lot more concrete to hand, I have been thinking about like walling this area across here up, so that the enemies, like putting a wall here, so the enemies will come around this way. And so we can funnel them into this sort of defensive pocket. I've also closed up this pillbox here, removed this because I wanted to get some hops grown. So we need hops to be growing to basically do a beer production, which is something we desperately need to get doing. We need to get some lower end medical processing done. on that topic, I will break this down and finish doing what I said I was going to do with this bunker here, which is set it up. We don't have a ton. I'll use a concrete door. It's slower, but it'll get the job done. Get all that stuff sort of finished up. So now we have a proper pillbox here, here, and here. This one's going to get broken down, which is fine. We also have a proper bedroom set up for our tech priest. We also, I believe, got the sensory earlobe ear side put into where they had the ear ripped off. So I was hoping it was going to make it a bit more cheerful, but it doesn't seem that stacks, unfortunately. Right, okay. So, next plans. I want to basically extend out I basically want to put a lab. Yeah, that's going to take us a bit of steel, unfortunately. Not a lot we can do about that. But I want to put a lab down here to allow us to just get the most out of it. Because I want to basically move all this stuff that's in here, all the prosthetics, all that kind of jazz. I want to move all that stuff down into here and just get it all set up, which will mean that we will have to put a door in. Which is not a problem. But we need to get basically that sort of sorted out. For the floors, what are we going to do floor-wise? Something that's relatively... I don't really care about it being... You know, continue with the look of the room. That's going to be a pain, isn't it? Yeah, okay. Oy. Don't like how it looks, but we just had to fill it in. That's why you have this sort of pattern look here, because I haven't been able to find a floor that you can put down that can put concrete and stuff on it easily. So, by the by, everything's coming along fine. I want the hops to finish growing so we can harvest it. Once we got the hops growing, we can... who's our primary... Anyone who's actually good? Actually, you are very good at brewing. I've forgotten about that. Get all that done. Get that put in. It's going along well. But we are still relatively low on equipment. Power-wise, we're not so bad. I probably do need to put some kind of storage room here for wood. We're currently working on... we also got biofuel refining as well, I should also mention. We got that done. So if I go... Power... Or is it biofuel refining? Here we go. Unfortunately, I don't... Yeah, deep chem tap. Deep vent drain, deep chem pump. We basically need to discover it, I believe, which require scanning equipment, if I recall correctly. Yeah, propane pump. So yeah, I think we do need to find this, like basically where it is. Unfortunately, which is not great. And as you can see here, we need gold. We don't have any gold, unfortunately. We're not getting a lot of traders coming through. Can throw down a quarry at some point. I am tempted to do that just to get raw resources. over there would work. Or just dig it into the side of the mountain and get a slave labor force going. But yes. So once the hops come online, that's coming along fine. We have enough concrete to solve most issues for the time being. Want to get this up and done. Yeah, so I'm happy with how things are. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to move a lot of the smaller buildings to the middle of the base and make them larger. I mean, to be honest, we could probably throw down like a barracks. Throw down like a barracks, like here. I mean, the thing is, wherever we want to have the barracks, we need to have the kitchens, the sick bay, and like the general storage relatively nearby. Which is why I'm thinking realistically of maybe walling up here, taking a lot of this mountain out, building up a base like in this general area. I mean, the thing is, if we put it here, we have to move all of this over here. That's the main thing. And that's the downside. For the time being, I don't really have to do that. More than anything else, I'm thinking more about having a large church. We also got the massive statue image of family done. Marlik's. Showing Marlik Yule Gruul, which is her looking into the sky and radiating serenity. So we're having some benefits to that end. What's your need? Chemical starvation, yeah. Getting all that stuff sort of put in place. So, what do we have to think about now? Wood is getting low again. I'd forgotten about that. Yeah, I want to get a more reliable form of power generation up. That's why I want to get the heat pump. Why I want to get the geo generators online. Get them going. Get them cycling power out so we can put it into the network and we have tons of power. Cut back on some of our wood power generators. It's something I think the tech priests would be very happy with. They probably wouldn't be happy with us relying so much. Well, actually, to be honest, they're pure pragmatists, so I don't think they would care, to be honest. How many muffalo do we have? Yeah, let's tame a couple of these muffalo. We can kill the others, and then we'll have a supply of animals that we can keep around. Right. Yeah. Fortunately, she's actually really good at taming animals. So it's really easy for her to do it relatively quickly. Yeah. Vulnerable cast, that's fine. Not too bothered by that. We have enough food supply for them in here, Pen. Yeah. I can always just throw down a grow zone and just put grass in it, or hay grass or whatever, and leave them to basically do it themselves, which is something I tend to do. Right. Yeah, I need to get the geo vents powered up. It's starting to become a bit of a problem. As you can see, I am wanting... I was just about to say, I am wanting to sort of get things sorted out with, say, storage as well, because it's not the best thing I've ever done, but there we go, doormats. Can you stop traipsing dirt into the med bay, please? Yeah, we struck compact machinery. Okay. That's relatively done. So we can now get everything reinstalled. Down here. So everything's going to get moved over. Like I said to someone in the comment section, I really need to find where the prosthetic table is, where to unlock it. As it stands right now, the current setup is not great. I will deconstruct that and save us a bit of power. I mean, to be honest, I can deconstruct that as well. We don't want to reinstall this. In there won't be any point. Actually, up here is probably a good idea. We can turn it off. I also will have to put the sun. That's something I do realize I need to put in here. I do need to put a vent in here, because to control the temperature in our brewing room is something that's going to be important. But yes, the dye is being grown, which is good. We're training the animals up here. Once we've got the animals trained, we can... actually, what I should probably do is train them all, or tame them all, I should say. Butcher the two I don't want. Thinking boom rats. And that should be easier then that way. So that's all been set up. All that's been moved over. Fine. That's been set up. We want to have a temperature of 21 degrees at all times. So when we do start making beer, it's... If I remember correctly, it has... I'm trying to remember the temperature for it. Can I remember the top of my head, but I believe it's between like 12 and 30. It's the preferred temperature for brewing in this game. So yes. Right, so everything's coming along relatively nicely. Down here, I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do with this building. I might take it out. I might turn it into something else, maybe a larger prison. Have like a larger prison and then sort of like a sick ward for the prisoners. Either that or I turn it into overflow for barracks. But I haven't made up my mind yet. But yes, I mean, it's still a fairly good setup. This bit, the old base and the bigger base, is going to take more and more space up around here. But I'm going to put a quick cut in here, folks, just so we can advance time forwards and get some other stuff done. I'll see you all in a second. Okay, something happens. So we've had basically a psychic shockwave, and many of the turkeys on the map have gone insane. So how many turkeys is that we're looking at? Okay, so that's actually a fair amount of turkeys. Everyone but you get to the central base. Already becoming under attack by the turkeys. Not again. Okay. Up into the bunker, please. here also got a skill advancement. Yeah, egg and expertise. So we can do butchery, drug cooking, food hygiene, feeding. Let's see. Butchery, expects of butchering dead animals, drug cooking. Food hygiene probably is a good one to have. Feeding maybe, creating large amounts of meals to feed many people quickly. Let's go food hygiene. Expertise in creating safe to consume meals in any environment. Food poisoning chance reduced. Yeah, I mean that's not a matter of her skill. They should have probably done sort of like feeding or butchery, but it's always useful because okay, that's another turkey down. How many more turkeys do we have? One more. If it's only one more turkey, we will sally out and fight the turkey. Now that is worse. Having a heat wave is actually pretty bad for us. I mean, we've got... yeah. Shouldn't be any more live turkeys, to be honest. That heat wave is going to be problematic, and I was worried about that. Another gene lab. Not until we've got more things in place. That's beer, right? Wort. So that's... that should be the right barrels. Yeah. So what's its preferred temperature? That's not so bad. Just keep getting all the beer produced. That will be okay. In here, it's not great, but besides turning down the temperature a bit, we're not going to be able to do a lot, unfortunately. Yeah, turning off that will be good, though. Not going to lie. In here, it's going to get hot. Minor break risk. Why? What's your problem? Oh yeah, so you've got an ear's missing and a soda's missing. We can't do anything about that because we were the ones that did it to you. Okay, storage. Storage, can you do hops? Yeah, you can. Okay. So let's go... concrete. And put some basic storage down. Right. Muffaloes are pregnant, which is fine. We still got a couple to tame. Once they're tamed, we can butcher them. Man, it's hot outside. It's not so bad. I will turn this back on just to keep the temperature in the in here down. But even so, it's getting a wee bit toasty. 22 degrees C, folks. Oh boy. You see, they're going to now start moving the kid to a safer temperature, which is like, where's that? Where's the safer temperature? Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's not great. They may have to put another cooler in, to be honest. Who's got heat stroke? You're sweaty. Yeah, it's gonna get hot. I mean, if push comes to shove, we'll just throw you in a cooler. Actually, to be honest, I don't like using how many coolers we have, but this is getting a bit ridiculous. How many components have we got left? Not a ton, to be honest. That should help keep the temperature down in here, yeah. Target temperature of 20. We should be able to keep it around there with two coolers going. We can just turn them off. We have got components being dug out, which isn't a massive issue, but we do need to sort of get more stuff being done. I'm happy that beer production is ongoing. Go hops here and here. I always set to critical for the hops. And that means we always have the hops nearby for the production. How long will it take for the beer to be made? So it's running 10%. It's going to take a bit of time, but once we have that all done, we can start making medicines. A heat wave isn't great. It's one of the reasons that I say that this game is quite hard for like medieval playthroughs, is because if you're using anything that's below industrial level tech, keeping the temperature down is really hard, and you end up having to use the old tricks of just like stripping off clothing, having passive coolers, that kind of thing. What's the drain our battery situation like? Not too bad. We overdid generators, realistically speaking. So it's not the biggest problem in the world. But yeah, so they're digging all that out. As it stands right now, I am relatively happy with how things are going. That will be a while before it degrades, which is fine. And we should have enough beer coming in that we can get a fairly good... Yeah, that's going to make us about a couple hundred bottles of beer, which most of that's going to be gone into making like medicines. Because what I really want to bring online, make early medieval medicine is basically better than herbal. And what I really want to make is I really want to make late medieval medicine, which requires that. Unfortunately, the only person we have up to skill that can actually do it at the moment is Stant, which is not great. We have Shag, but to get his crafting up 2 points, we'd have to basically get him making something pointless, which is always a pain. I suppose I could go make... I know it's using the old making tribalware, which I've never been a fan of because I always felt a bit cheating, if you ask me. With anything that we need to actually have made, boots perhaps. Making boots actually probably would be a good thing. Put that on, like make 20 sets of boots, and then just Sharg. And where is Sharg? Sharg's stuff is relatively, he's planting as well. Well, we'll leave it there for the time being. It can be something that you can do in his spare time. But yeah, as I said, I'm fairly happy with how it's going. Do need to get those last couple of... What was the one that we tamed? It was the male, female, female. That's the older one, so we'll slaughter that one. That's getting harvested, and we can finish painting up the rooms, which is great. Yeah. Was never a fan of the heat waves in this game. For medieval playthroughs, it makes it very, very challenging. Muffalo 3 is pregnant, fine. Right. Where's Shaw? And then we go... Yeah, he's pretty bad, but he does not need what we need to do. But not analyze, no, assign. Not assigned to tailoring. Okay, that's what it was. It was not crafting, it was tailoring, but he... Yeah, crafting's like a low... Actually, wait, it's stone cutting, isn't it, for crafting? Good point. Anyone can do it. But if it's crafting, it's going to be the electric stone cutter. Okay. How much blocks do we have floating about? We do have some limestone chunks. Make limestone chunks. Make preserving, next make soul blocks. Yeah. Do that. And we can put... Yeah. Shark, you can go over and do some basic crafting. Just to get your crafting skill up. I wonder how much it'll actually improve it by. Not by a lot. A little bit. But it's going to be forever. Actually, that's pretty... If that's going to be the case, that's just going to be pointless then. We have a tailoring. Only you? Ugh. I mean, Bennett can do some basic tailoring, I suppose. Not that happy about it. Well, at least we get all that stuff painted up as well. Yeah, I might do... Get down here and get some medieval drugs fixed. You do have other people that can do basic research. Actually, it's not that basic, but it's... Just want to top up our supply of early medieval medicine. A box containing various herbs, yeah. It's basically better than herbal meds. Herbal meds are 1760, and this is 1980. This stuff is great if you can get hold of it. It's basically better than medicine, and it's basically prison medicine, incredibly advanced packet of medical supplies, including if you can get hold of that, it's basically higher tier than this. So getting some low-level early meds in process would be really good to have. Right, that's the other Muffalo done. I don't need a ton of Muffalo, to be honest. I just wanted them out of the pen because they were getting in the way of what I wanted to do. Yeah. How many... Yeah, we've got enough of that now, so you can basically go back to doing what you were doing. I mean, if we could get his stuff up, it would be great, but it's going to take so long. Not really worth it. Yeah. So as it stands right now, we've got a good amount of things done. Still don't know what I'm going to do with this room. May turn into a bigger prison, to be honest. Allow us to capture more people or have individual holding cells, which would be nice. Like have it sort of a prison and then have like a prison sick ward. Sort of make it a bit more. I mean, to be honest, I could also just knock it in and turn it into just general storage. So I want to put the general storage over here, so maybe having a prison would be a good idea and get it away from the front line. But this is going to take us a while to get done. Because I need to get, I believe it's this stuff, like, yeah, it's ENIAC, which is basic communication setup, down onto microelectronics, which will basically give us the advanced where is like advanced multi-analyzers, advanced bionics, yeah, bionics, clothing, autopsy. I can't find where the advanced research, advanced multi-analyzer. See, this is the thing, which it says that it wants... So like if we go bionics, it says you need to have a whole host of stuff. Yeah, it says you need to have missing high-tech research bench, which is fine until I basically try and put that in to the search. Yeah, and it says basically it's down here somewhere. It's annoying. One thing I do want to know though is like, so here's the high, like the advanced bionics. Brain surgery, prosthetics. Okay. So where on earth do we get the where on earth do we get the prosthetic? There we go. Bionic replacements. That's probably where it's going to, a lot of that stuff is going to get made. Yeah. Unlocks bionics workbench. That's basically where it is. We're actually pretty a long way off getting that, which is a frustrating thing. Brain surgery. Allows to perform surgery on the brain. Which would be useful, to be honest. But yeah. That needs to come along. Problem is we can't research a lot of these things. I really want to get the Imperial Geothermal plant going because that gives us so much power. But for that, which is going to involve us doing a lot. And I need to get some more weapons basically online. So we need to get to gunsmithing. Yeah, I might have to put in a second research bench. It's annoying, I know, because it will basically then drag one of the other people away. But a lot of these things can be done under the watchful eye of our tech priest. I'd love to get another tech priest. Oh, another dedicated tech priest would be so good. But we haven't had a lot of people that we can get joining who are of the Cult Mechanicus, unfortunately. And he is not suited to get any kind of role. Yeah, research specialist. You could do that, but he'd basically lose the ability to do a lot of things. He's also got a current role, I believe, as well, isn't he? Yeah. What's his current role? Constructor. Construction speed, global labour speed, quality of crafts and construction. Yeah. I mean, the only thing we could turn him away from would be to go, say, like a logis, which is basically research and hacking speed. Which wouldn't be too bad, I suppose. Turn him over to basically he's mostly doing pure research these days. So that could be something we could do to speed up our research speed. But she's I need to also get some of her, like, get a lot of her gear sort of like, yeah. So it's coming along. I'm happy with how it is. We haven't done a lot of grand expansions, got that set up and the various bits of things. We're still suffering from the heat wave. But we've got enough food stored away that we shouldn't have a problem. And then it's just thinking about expansion. Probably am going to put a wall across here. So it means that they have to come around in this direction. We can funnel them into a more confined area. Also, eventually they want to start mining into the mountain to get access to the raw materials. But that's for next time, folks. I've been Cornish-Knight. This has been Rimworld Biotech, the last few. And I see you again next time. Goodbye. Wait, what's wrong with the kid? Is he not being fed? No, he's still around. All your expectations. Parent is happy. Yeah. So everything's good. But we shall see. Next time, folks. Next time.